ladies and gentlemen, get those dollars ready. Coming up next to the stage on the OtherGround podcast, it's your host, Passive J and Ryan.
Good afternoon, and welcome to yet another edition of OtherGround Live. Passive J, that's Ryan over there. Say hello, Ryan.
It is Friday, May the 22nd, and we are officially in a holiday weekend.
Woohoo! That is right, fellas. We're holiday weekend ahoy. I see the OG Army is forming up in the chat box. Always happy to see you guys. How'd your day go, Ryan?
Not too bad. Cut all my folks out at like noon, and then something crazy popped up that actually made me work until about 3 o'clock. So at least it wasn't until like 5:30 like it's been all week. So I think we're good.
Right on. Yep, regular day for me. Actually took care of a lot of stuff, been fairly busy. But all things said and done, probably a good day, I call it. You got anything you want to talk about before we start hitting topics?
You know, I have almost nothing. One thing I do have, however, at some point, everybody go check out the YouTube feed for this one. We've kind of upped the aesthetic a little bit. So there's some fun spacers around the PodBean chat.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty cool. You guys really need to check it out. I was super duper impressed, especially on the short notice that you had it done.
And of course, you know, I drew this myself, obviously.
Right. Clearly, we're very artistic. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, I'm very artistic. You're very autistic, so it works.
Exactly. Yeah, I was really impressed. You even got the little tattoos on my shoulders, right? Which is, you know, I like the attention to detail.
Yeah, it's amazing what, you know, $10 will get you on Fiverr.
Oh, that weird website.
I can't believe people hadn't heard of it. Like, it's the greatest site ever for random impulse decisions that only cost you $5.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we, as requested, I did the a thread on the OG for my Fiverr account, and it went about as well as expected, which was not well at all. But that's kind of what we were hoping for. At this point, we knew it was going to be a troll thread as soon as I posted it, which wasn't my intention. My intention was just to amuse some people. But, you know, of course, most of the OG is going to take it the wrong way. But
well Jay,
that's kind of what I expect.
You are the OG punching bag. Like, literally, if we got Tenor to start a Fiverr where he just says winning for $5, like, they would probably be all over it.
Right, exactly. You know, I can't win for losing. I thought it was amusing that you saw my post about the downvotes. You know, people downvote me. Oh, Jay's lazy. He doesn't want to work. Downvote him. Oh shit, Jay made a thread about getting some work. Downvote him. Downvote him. You know, I can't.
Downvote him? You're thinking about Steve again, aren't you?
No. But what are you gonna do? I don't let him get me down. I had to bail out of the thread though after a certain point. You know, I don't mind, you know, most of the jokes and stuff like that, but once it gets really negative, I just leave the thread. I don't need that in my life. So if anything funny happens after that point, you guys have to let me know because I'm not going back in there.
Well, I don't think people actually understand that, like, this actually is something that could be productive and actually getting you other work. Like, you have to build a portfolio for these things, and this is a good place to do it. Like, basically, they think you're trying to scam people out of $5. It's like, no, you're actually doing something for people that would cost them far more than $5 if this site wasn't around.
Right, exactly. They're like, oh, look, Jay's trying to trick people into giving them $5 to say stupid shit. I'm like, no, the thread's supposed to amuse people. I didn't honestly expect someone to throw money at me to say stupid shit. It was supposed to be a funny thing. But as I mentioned, they didn't take it that way, which is whatever. I'm not that upset about it. I kind of figured that's how it was going to go in the first place, which is why I was kind of reluctant to do the thread. But I told you guys I would, and I did. Interestingly enough, most of the activity I'm getting on Fiverr so far is from scammers.
Oh, are there scammers on there? Really?
Oh yeah, certainly. That's the very first thing that popped up. All my messages have been from scammers. They all want to talk to me about a long-term project and want me to click on various files or YouTube pages or this that, and the other. So the one thing that I did click on basically, and I'm assuming they're all variations of this kind of scam. It had nothing to do with voiceover work or anything like that. The guy wanted to pay me $150 to remotely use my computer to use a different account that he was banned from, and yada 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 about it. I'm like, yeah, no thanks, buddy. I'm assuming there's probably a bazillion different scams out there with people just basically trying to get you to agree to various things, which doesn't surprise me. Every website like that is like that.
So that one actually sounds like the Indian tech support scam, where they'll get you to remote in using like a team viewer or something like that. And what they'll do is they'll end up locking down your machine, and then you end up having to pay like $500 to get it unlocked.
Right, and they had various research says, "Oh, there's nothing to worry about. You'll be able to see what I'm doing the entire time." So yeah, then you have to, I'm like, well, yeah, but I won't be able to stop you from doing it. so once I give you control of my computer, I'll be able to see you fuck me over. That's very reassuring.
So speaking of, when we covered this before, like YouTube rabbit holes, there's a guy that messes with these scammers. Basically what he does is he just pulls up and he just uses a virtual machine, and then he plays absolutely dumb as far as the process goes. And like 9 times out of 10, what he'll end up doing is getting the scammer to end up accidentally giving him access to their machine. So he will like delete everything off the machine, like throw a password on the sys key, like all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's one of those things. It's hilarious to hear them just melt down.
Yeah, because for us it's an annoying person trying to bother us and take our money. For them, it's how they make their living. So when you fuck with someone's living, it gets serious really fucking quick.
Well, it's a shitty way to make a living by scamming people. So
yeah 100%.
I
disagree.
I will give that guy a thumbs up on any video I ever see of him, just because he's fighting for good. He is the Mel Gibson of Indian scammers.
Thank God for Mel looking out for us.
Love you, Mel.
And as we mentioned, the Memorial Day weekend is coming up, and you know what that means, Ryan?
What's that?
That means you're going to get a bazillion different Facebook posts reminding you about what this weekend's really about. And don't you forget it, Ryan.
I will make my normal Twitter post generally on Memorial Day, obviously talking about what it's actually about, not the preachy this is what it's really about, but the actual kind of thank you.
Yeah, that which is perfectly fine. Don't fill up my Facebook feed trying to make me feel guilty because I want to have a barbecue on Monday. And that's what it always ends up being. You guys, while you're barbecuing and going to the beach, remember what this is really all about. Well, of course, we remember what it's really all about. It's Memorial Day. That's the name of the fucking thing. We know what the holiday's about. Don't try to make me feel like shit because I want to have fun too.
Yeah, really, the only thing you do for Memorial Day, right? Obviously, be aware of what it really is for. If you know any veterans, say your thanks, but don't go too deep on it. Because, it's not a fun day for them. Just don't be a dick.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that just always annoyed me because it's every year the same thing over and over again. And it's normally the same self-righteous people that have a bazillion different causes. And
it's the same Facebook idiots that on every fucking Father's Day make the stupid post of well, this is also celebration for all the single mothers out there. But if you look on Mother's Day, they don't say a damn thing about single fathers, so they can go all rot in hell. Right,
exactly. They always want to have some justification. Related to that, I was talking with someone about that kind of thing the other day, and I said it's amazed how much people want to be offended. It's the newest thing. People want to be offended. It's more fun than anything else for some people, and so they go through their life looking for something to be offended by. And of course, being that life sucks and it's full of assholes, it's easy to find. But I can't believe people want to live like that, constantly angry and upset about something someone did that they went out of the way to go find.
Well, they're next level attention whores. So there's a level of attention whoring that you're at. It's relatively good-natured. You're like, hey, look at me. I did something wacky. And then once those people no longer can get any attention for doing random attention whory things, that's when they graduate to selectively looking for outrage so they can, play their pity party or, have their outrage and someone can go hey, I'm with you, brother. And then that's really all they want.
Right, exactly. They want, look how righteous I am about this. And I think it was the that poor reality TV celebrity lady that accidentally sang the N-word while she was singing a rap song. And all the people that were super duper offended by that. Well, you're clearly racist because you sang along to a song. And come on. I mean, obviously, she probably should have had more wherewithal about what she was saying, but I did the exact same thing. It's really easy to do when you're singing along to a song, especially if it's not one that you're really familiar with. At least in my case, I was just reading lyrics.
I'll put it this way. Like, I'm a big rap fan, and like, I'm sure I've messed up and dropped quite a few N-words singing along with things, but if you want to call me racist from that, like, you also have to look at the fact of how many damn albums and CDs and concerts have I paid to these black people and promoted their music.
These black people. Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, I always thought that was rather amusing. I don't think I've ever been accused seriously of being a racist. Mostly because I don't really give a shit about race. There's so many reasons to not like people. Why bother with color, right?
Well, except the Georgians, right? You're against them.
The Georgians. I am against the Georgians, the country, not the state.
Exactly.
But yeah, racism in general is just kind of silly. As I mentioned, skin color has nothing to do with anybody's personality. The way they're raised has quite a bit. I tell people that I'm not racist. I am kind of classist, though. I really don't like ghetto poor people. I mean, don't get me wrong. Regular poor people are fine. I am regular poor people. But that entire ghetto.
Well, so as long as you get that right, so there's two things, right? There's there's the very urban, like, ghetto poor. There's also the very redneck poor. They're on the same level. You just got to make sure that.
That's exactly the same thing. They are exactly the same thing. The only difference is what the environment that they're raised in. That's what I'm talking about. The type of people that are raised in such an environment where they don't have any moral values that are aligned with mine. They don't, the kind of out for anything, will steal whatever they can, just out for themselves. And which don't get me wrong, in some ways I can understand. If you're raised in a shitty environment where you never had anything, and anything that you ever got, you pretty much had to take. I totally understand how you end up like that. I certainly don't want to associate with it, though.
Yeah, I'm that way with white people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, and the entire redneck methed up, intentionally speaking that way. Society is just as bad, if not worse, in some ways. Like I said, low class doesn't have a color.
No, but they definitely have a lot of deep-seated mental issues and general drug problems.
Yeah, and that's what it always cracks me up. Oh, it's a race thing. It's like, man, I can introduce you to a white guy from Pontiac that is just as ghetto and fucking low class as all the stereotypes that you're thinking of. And it's got nothing to do with the color of his skin. It was how he was raised. So that your people are a product of their environment, not their racial background.
Exactly. Whether you're white, black, Mexican, whatever, if you've appeared on Jerry Springer, I'm probably not going to get along with you.
Yeah, exactly. Man, my wife loves that show so fucking much. She watches it twice a day, 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. now that we're not working. And I don't know why she likes it so much. I think it's her little 1 hour of feeling better about herself. Because we are fairly white trash. Let's not be let's be honest here. We're not that white trash.
Is she a professional wrestling fan?
No,
because it's literally the same thing. Like, both are scripted.
Yeah, of course it is. But no, she enjoys it because she knows that for everything on there, there's a little grain of truth. Because these people go on there, to tell their story on Jerry, and they normally have these problems. They just exaggerate them for the show.
Well, no, they get pretty much completely scripted. So yeah, it's a little kernel of truth. So honestly, I actually know someone that was on Jerry Springer, and this is more than a decade ago, and it was like they pretty much went through a casting thing where they responded to like one of the ads, and it was just one of those things, like it was a general, like, may have been some relationship issue or something, right? And they get there and they're literally walked through like, okay, no, this is the situation that you guys are going to play out, and like at this time you need to fight. It's just a drama. It's really what it is. It's a scripted TV show.
Oh yeah, exactly. But it serves its purpose, which is to make people feel better about their life and their relationships. Okay, so that's the purpose it has with my wife, because she's like, oh wow, my relationship with my husband's pretty strong. We got a good thing going here. Look at these fucking assholes. So I don't
Exactly.
mind her watching it.
Yeah, that's why I just made the analogy to professional wrestling, right? Like it's scripted, but yes, there's the kernel of truth that half these people are very much redneck or idiots or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
the actual story isn't something that has really any real basis in reality.
Right, and you know what? That's basically the type of show she likes. She'll watch that, then she'll watch like 2 or 3 of those courtroom shows, like Divorce Court, People's Court, this, that, and the other, and all those are the same thing. Everything has a grain of truth to it. Although I think the court ones are a little bit closer to real, because they claim, oh, these people had court cases. They agreed to drop your case and have it settled here on the People's Court. So there's probably a little bit of reality going on with that. But it's still mostly low-class people suing each other over ridiculous shit. And the show is mostly about the judge telling both sides that they're idiots. So I imagine it's not real, obviously.
Yeah, those shows, like I could never get into any of that, but I guess I can see, why some people would watch it as an escape.
Yeah, exactly right. And she'll normally watch a couple hours of that and then move over to Hulu or Netflix or HBO or something and watch some movies. So, when she's not doing other stuff, she's been pretty active around in the yard, digging new flower beds and shit like that past week or so.
So speaking
But,
of like Hulu and Amazon and stuff like that, I finally did get around to start watching the most recent season of Bosch.
Mm-hmm.
And goddamn, if Tenor would have just told me that like one of the subplots of this thing were sovereign citizens, I would have binged that bitch in like a day.
Shit. Boy, that is a unique type of person, isn't it?
Those
Someone
are
who
the most hilarious people ever.
Yeah, they're like, I swear, then it comes back to my dislike of people that think that they're better than everybody else. And that's basically what sovereign citizens are. They're people that think they've figured something out that no one else has, that gives them the right to, live their life above laws because, they're a sovereign citizen. Despite the fact that if they did fucking 3 seconds worth of research, they'd find out that they can't do all that shit and they're going to jail. What makes a person stop their research halfway through? Because seriously, they had to look up sovereign citizen and to be able to quote all these stupid shit to the cops that you see them doing, but they never take another 5 minutes worth of research to find out that it's all wrong.
Ask the anti-vaxxers. That's really what the sovereign citizens are, is like a less dangerous version of an anti-vaxxer.
Well, yeah, at least
like
everybody else. They're fairly dangerous.
Yeah, they just looked into something and were like, oh, I can get out of paying taxes or obeying traffic laws. Whereas the anti-vaxxer looked up something and thought vaccines are evil and cause autism.
Right, exactly. It's like, dude, you didn't take 5 more minutes? Just 5 more minutes. Google's fucking awesome. Do you know how many arguments I win with Google? And I'm not talking with like people in person. I win arguments all the time with people on the fucking internet with Google, which means they can do the exact same thing I'm doing. And I win the arguments all the time because people are too fucking stupid and lazy to do 2 fucking seconds worth of research. It's pitiful, really. I'm often frustrated with how little I've done with my life when I look at the fucking competition, It's like, Jesus Christ, I should be doing way better because these people are fucking stupid.
Well, there is something to be said for the sheer amount of information that's out there at everyone's fingertips. Is virtually any dumb idea you get, you can back up with confirmation bias of searching just for that. And there's going to be at least another idiot out there somewhere that you can cite as the basis for your idiotic argument.
Right, exactly. And that's what most people don't understand is that you have to be more thorough in your research than that. I've encountered that over and over again while I was doing that research for my diet. Because I'll Google is such and such okay, and I'll find something and say, oh yeah, that's perfectly okay. I don't stop there. I read 3 or 4 more articles. That's why I've mentioned that this entire diet thing is rather frustrating because a lot of people disagree with each other because it turns out it's a pretty personal thing and what people What bothers some people won't bother other people. And basically, if you want to be really sure, you have to go back to a study that this university did about the actual ingredients of this shit. And that's the only real source. And all these fucking dozens and dozens and dozens of other articles are all opinion, really. And
Yeah,
you can find, yep.
Those good old-fashioned university studies.
University, you know what I'm saying, dude. It was like an actual study using chemicals and stuff like that from the University of California or someplace like that. They did a real study, as opposed to this person saying, "Oh yeah, I eat that all the time and it doesn't bother me IBS, so obviously it's good for IBS." Then someone else goes, "Dude, I ate that shit and it fucked me up." So like, you're right, you can find something to agree with whatever you want if you try hard enough, or don't try, as the case may be.
Well, we saw it all the time with all this COVID stuff when we actually had like an actual doctor in the threads, and you have people basically telling him that he's full of shit because they did a Google search.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's one of my favorite things I saw recently. Stephen King posted about the COVID-19 thing, and he was like, and this is early into it when he was trying to reassure people not to panic. Yeah, he posted. COVID-19 is not like the disease in The Stand. It is not nearly as contagious nor fatal. Take precautions and don't panic. And someone posted underneath him, "Dude, did you even read the fucking book?" It almost has to, at first I thought it had to be like bullshit, but then I saw that his original post had been, because who would follow Stephen King and not know that he wrote The Stand? But then I realized Stephen King's quote had been retweeted about 4,000 times, so obviously some idiot that had no clue who Stephen King really fucking was wanted to lip off him like that without realizing he obviously knew what the fuck he was talking about. And you see that all the time. People are like, "Oh, you're wrong." Well, turns out he's not wrong.
Well, Twitter is just stupid anyway. Like, there's you'll see this all the time in sports. Is a team will come out and like announce like a contractor signing, or announce that they've cut someone, and one of the first replies on Twitter will be like, "Source?" Then the team will be like, "Us, the employer."
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite things is watching people argue. I'm going to say his name wrong. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think is how it's said.
DeGrasse.
DeGrasse, yeah.
Yeah,
Tyson.
Degrassi was a Canadian TV show at Drake in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously the guy's a smart fellow. He's a physicist and all that good stuff. And you'll see people argue from about stuff that's obviously his forte all the time on Twitter. You're like, dude, if he doesn't know, who do you think does? Unfortunately, people like that are normally arguing with him on religious things or things like that. It's like, he's like, God created the world 5,000 years ago. And he'll say stuff like, "Well, I cannot argue with you on whether God created the world or not, but I can pretty much prove that it wasn't 5,000 years ago." And he's pretty polite, but then really articulates his ideals really well. And people still, "Oh no, you're wrong." It's like, well, dude, facts are facts. You can have your own opinion, but a fact is still a fact. That's one of his favorite sayings. Is nice thing about science is it's true whether you believe in it or not.
Very good point.
Yep. Anyways, I guess people are probably getting tired of us bitch about people on the internet. Let's see what I got for topics. Did you see Peter Dinklage and Jason Momoa are gonna have a buddy movie?
That sounds kind of shitty, but let's.
Well,
so in the movie is Peter Dinklage like Momoa's captive butler? Because midget butlers are always cool.
Yeah, no, that's probably a better idea, but it might go good. Peter Dinklage is playing Van Helsing, the vampire hunter. I'm not sure if that's his actual name. That's what they refer to him as, but then again, the article sometimes doesn't go into depth enough. Jason Momoa is going to play a vampire that has sworn off killing, and they're buddies who go from town to town and run a confidence game on people to scam money out of them, where Jason Momoa will play to be a fearsome vampire that's going to kill everyone, and Peter Dinklage will sweep in and save everybody for a fee. And the movie goes from like them getting too popular and too successful, and like real people start shooting after bounties after them and yada yada. But it's basically a buddy movie, which not a horrible concept. Who knows what it'll do well or not. But it is the latest in a long line of buddy movies. It's a pretty.
That sounds god awful.
Yeah, it probably will be. You know how it is. Nine times out of 10, when you throw a supernatural and comedy into the same mix, it doesn't turn out well. There's very few supernatural comedies that work well.
Yeah, fuck
But
that
you never know,
movie.
they're
Give me a Mel Gibson, hurricane movie, preferably shot in Puerto Rico.
But the concept of the buddy movie is not a new thing at all. There's been plenty of good ones. Do you think of any good buddy movies that you've enjoyed over the years?
Nope, they're all terrible.
No, not when. I guess you're not thinking of the same thing as I am
Name
when I
three
say a
good
buddy
ones.
movie. Lethal Weapon.
No shit.
What Lethal
No,
Weapon?
I'm fucking
shit,
with you.
come on.
Lethal Weapon was great.
Yeah, I consider that a buddy movie. The one where Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger were brothers.
No, that was
like a
shit.
buddy.
That was not good.
I thought that was funny. Let's see, and a third buddy movie, the Tango and Cash.
Yeah, when was that? In like the 70s?
That was in the 90s. Okay, so that might have been a little before your time. It was a decent movie, though. But there's been plenty of buddy movies, like pretty much any of the cop movies, like Bad Boys. That's a good example of a buddy movie. So that being the case, I'm sure you've seen a couple that you enjoy.
Screw that. Give me Fast and Furious 37.
God, the first movie was not bad. It was a little silly, like the special effects of it zooming through the car and seeing the pistons and the spark and all that good stuff. I could have did without that, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was overblown, but there is 100% a car culture like that, where people modifying their cars and racing and in high stakes shit like that. But after that, I stopped watching them. I don't think I've seen any of them past the first one and bits of like 2 or 3 of the other ones. I haven't seen another one since the first one all the way through.
Well then, sir, you are a traitor.
Are you a fan of them?
If there is a Fast and Furious movie, I will watch it. I may not necessarily enjoy it, but I will watch it. God damn it. As a red-blooded American, I will watch the yearly Fast and Furious movie.
See, that's how I feel about superhero movies, especially DC ones. I will watch that motherfucker. If it's a DC one, I'm probably not going to like it. Most of them aren't that great, but I still watch all the fuckers. Speaking of superhero movies, did you see the trailer for the new movie Tenet coming out?
No, I have no idea what that's about. But before you go into that, I have sworn off DC movies. Like, I will not watch another one of those steaming piles of leaky shit.
See, I'm surprised that you were that down on Wonder Woman. Don't get me wrong. I consider that like a 6 or a 7 as far as movies go. But as far as DC movies go, it's by far the best thing they've ever made.
Yeah, but that's like finding, like an Alabama 10. And then you go to California and she's a 3.5. Like, it still doesn't make it acceptable that you let her, blow you in the back of a Buick.
Oh, Tanner just mentioned one of my favorite shows, movies, buddy movies. It's called Men at Work with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. Have you ever seen that one?
No, that sounds like another like early mid-90s type of movie. And at least they actually are brothers.
Yeah, exactly. That's so crazy. They don't look anything alike either. That was a movie where they played garbage men, and I've seen it so long ago I can't remember anything else about the movie other than that. But I remember I liked it.
Wow, sounds super memorable.
Yeah, but the movie Tenet, it's by Christopher Nolan. And a couple other big people. I don't know if you're into movies enough to know like producers and directors' names and shit like that.
Well, Nolan, he did the good DC movies, right?
Yes, yeah. It's let me pull up the Wikipedia on it. The director is Christopher Nolan. And it's written and directed by him, so it should be interesting. And I think it's some of the people associated with that other crazy movie.
That other crazy movie. That's a lot of help.
The one where they, I think, God, what's his fucking name played in it?
Debbie Does Dallas Again?
Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception, I think it was called.
Inception was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it looks a lot like that. It's a guy that somehow or another has the superpower, and I'm not sure if I understand it all correctly, but it seems like he can reverse time. Like they showed scenes of like time moving backwards to like undo car accidents and shit like that. And obviously the trailer doesn't give you a lot to work with, but it's definitely got that Inception crazy, off the wall concept thing going. And considering who's involved with it, despite the wacky concept, it'll probably be a really good movie. I bet you by the end of the year, it's one of those movies that ends up being a big success. And supposedly it's still coming out in July.
Interesting. I'll have to take a look. I'll have to see what the trailer is. Like it sounds it sounds like it could either be interesting or a complete pile of shit.
Right. Well, whenever you have a company that's not Marvel or DC take a shot at the superpower thing, it often comes off weird. Like M. Night Shyamalan's deal with the Bruce Willis series of superhero movies was kind of odd. Like the first one with him, Unbreakable, I think it was called. Or
Unbreakable was good.
Yeah,
Glass was shit.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, and I didn't see Glass. And supposedly there's one with James McAvoy that was supposed to be pretty good, but I haven't seen that one yet either.
I've seen bits and pieces of that. Like I don't remember what the character he plays, but it's like a split personality character, and one of them is like basically like this kind of beast or something, and it's probably halfway decent, given that kid's a pretty decent actor, but yeah, I never actually sat down and watched the whole thing.
All right. Well, speaking of non-Marvel superhero movies, and since we're on the topic with James McAvoy, what did you think of the X-Men movies? Because they're not the Marvel universe, but they're still Marvel characters, and they're one of the only series that's managed to be at least moderately successful, although they've had some really big stinkers in between their successes.
So, like, the reboot of the X-Men have been kind of interesting. Like, like Days of Future Past and stuff like that, right? With
yeah, that was good.
What's the fucking actor's name? Fassbender?
Yeah,
he the one that did Magneto.
Yeah.
Like those two playing Xavier and Magneto were pretty good. Like a lot of the other ones were just kind of shit. Like I still don't think a movie has gotten Wolverine right. Like I think we all think of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but he's still not like really what Wolverine's supposed to be.
Yeah. I think he made the best of what he could with what they gave him, and I give the guy credit. He put a lot of effort, because if you look at him in the first X-Men movie and then look at him at the last X-Men movie, he clearly put in a fucking lot of work. I guess that's one of the reasons why he said he's not really interested in doing any more Wolverine movies, because he's getting tired of eating nothing but fucking chicken breast for the last 15 years. And for me, the first two movies were good. The first one was decent. The second one was better. The third one sucked. Then the cycle repeated. X-Men First Class, the first one of like the reboot kind of soft reboot thing, was good. The second one, Days of Future Past, was way better, and the third one pretty much sucked. X-Men Apocalypse, and then the new one that they made after that, I didn't even bother to watch the fucker. And it's sad because that's such a great franchise with so many stories to tell, and they've only barely done an adequate job at it.
Yeah, I never really got into those. Back to Wolverine, though, like they should have cast like a prime Sean Shirk, taking it to MMA. Like he would have been the perfect fucking Wolverine.
Right, exactly. It's really hard to find somebody with that kind of physique with any kind of acting ability, I imagine. Because Wolverine should be super duper short. We're talking like 5'4", 5'6" is like the tallest that you really want him. But still, maxing out at like 200 pounds or some shit like that. Just a big fucking, fire plug of a man.
But you don't even need him to act that well. Like, I mean, I get it. Hugh Jackman is supposedly like a pretty good actor, I guess. But like, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's why it was ironic when they threw like Ben Affleck in for the Batman movies because he's a really, really good actor. He doesn't get nearly enough credit for that. But you don't really need a really good actor for that. You just need someone that looks good as Bruce Wayne and is big enough to be believable as Batman. I mean, he fulfilled the role for that, but his talents were mostly wasted in that movie.
Yeah, I think this is just your irrational love for Kevin Smith and him liking Ben Affleck shining through because, like, Affleck's not a great actor.
Really? I don't. I think uh, he's won like fucking awards and shit for that. Let's take a look. Although some people think he's a way better director than he is an actual actor.
Yeah, no, it's Ben Affleck. Like, no. Exactly, Tenor. He's no Matt Damon.
Yeah, man, isn't that amazing? How often does that happen? Just two buddies that both grew up to have amazing acting careers.
I'll take Rounders over any Ben Affleck movie ever.
Well, he's won the Golden Globe and the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with being an actor.
As an actor, he's received a Golden Globe nomination for his performance in Hollywoodland. The film Argo, which he directed, co-produced, and starred, won him the Golden Globe Award, the BAFTA Award, and the Directors Guild Award for Best Director. And,
so again, that's not being an actor, yeah.
Okay, so he's been nominated for a couple of things, but he's only won shit for being a director.
Yeah, you know how much being nominated matters?
Well, it's nice. It looks good on your resume.
You're not first, you're last. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. You know what? I hated that fucking movie the first time I watched it, but the second time it kind of grew on me. I resisted being a Will Ferrell fan for fucking ever. I thought he was silly, but he's grown on me over the years where I finally accepted that he's funny.
Talladega Nights is a goddamn national treasure.
You know, the one I watched recently that really got to me was Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is amazing too.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to like this. This is dumb. Okay, that's pretty fucking funny. By the end of it, I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, I gave in. Sometimes you just got to give in to the dumb humor and just enjoy it.
Exactly. Will Ferrell is great, except I think I heard this latest movie was absolute garbage. But can't win them all.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, I have an interesting problem. I've got to poop. No, I'm fine though. I can make it another 40 minutes, but I do got a doozy of a Tuesday brewing.
Yeah, we didn't need to hear that.
Yes, you did. I think it came from sitting in a hot tub. Normally, I get in the hot tub right after my workout, but I had a lot of shit to do this morning, so I was not able to hop in the hot tub until right around 5 o'clock, and sat in there and soaked for about 20-25 minutes, and I think that's got the old machinery going. But anyways, let's move on to our next topic. No one wants to hear about my digestive system for at least one day.
That and a real man would have just shit in silence.
God damn right. So one of the topics I've seen going on the OG lately was they've been talking about dogs and whether it's better to get a dog from a breeder or from like a rescue. And I know it's one of the few things we have in common, and we're both fan of dogs. We love our puppies. Where did you get yours from?
Both of mine are rescues.
Yeah. So is that how you feel about in general, or is that just how it worked out for you in this case?
No, I always rescue any sort of pet, and part of it is part of it's selfish in the fact that generally you have less health issues in mutts because those breeders, there ends up being so much inbreeding in those lines in order to keep them purebred that they develop all of these goddamn issues. And I'm sorry, I love animals, but towards the end of life, I don't want to be spending, $20,000 on a dog.
No, I can understand that. And that is often the case with breeders, which is why really good ones that, are making sure to avoid those problems are so fucking expensive. So if you spend $800 on a purebred dog, nowadays you're getting a shitty dog. You're probably going to have major health problems with them. And as sad as it is to get a purebred dog that's probably not going to have health problems, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars, like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. It's not uncommon in the least bit. And occasionally you'll still get a shitty dog with health problems, but that's the only way to at least have a fair chance that you're not.
Well, it's just the breed itself. There's so much inbreeding to keep it that way. Just think of us as people, right? Like, we're all becoming kind of this, half-breed mess anyway. Like, it's the same thing with dogs. Like,
Mhm.
may as well just accept it and take, the traits that kind of bred themselves out over generations of mutts that have made them the most healthy.
Yep, yep. And I also understand if you're buying a dog for a purpose, like a work environment thing, like you need a guard dog, or you need a hunting dog, or you need a guide dog, one of those type of things. I realize that there are breeds out there that are bred for that and are specialized for that. Their instincts are honed toward that. In those cases, I also understand going to get a purebred. Um, on the other hand, I can understand why you wouldn't want to get a rescue, um, especially once we're talking non-puppies. If you want a puppy, there's not, and you're not going to a rescue, you're kind of dumb because there's just like any other dog. Once they get older, it can be issues. Lots of times those dogs were abandoned because they had problems with them. It might have been a poor owner. Occasionally, it's just a weirdo dog. And not everybody wants to deal with that sort of thing. I've got fairly lucky. I've got both cases. I've got as you guys know, a pit bull chihuahua mix that I was technically from a breeder. It was a lady that just had a litter somehow or another. Her chihuahua managed to knock up a pit bull, and she thought it'd be interesting to breed one of the half pit bull, half chihuahua dogs with another purebred chihuahua, and they ended up being cute puppies, and she was selling them for $350 each. I thought that was way too much to pay for a fucking mixed breed dog, but it was a cute puppy, and it's what my wife wanted. And so I was like, well, okay. And especially since I started looking around, and that's about how much it costs from a rescue nowadays, $250, $300. So that being the case, I didn't see that big of a deal paying for one. And she's a great dog, zero problems, really good personality. On the other hand, we might have health problems with her later on because I don't think you really should be breeding a Chihuahua and a Pit Bull. She's this little stocky fire plug of a dog with these little tiny legs. Her legs are not nearly long enough for the proportions of her body, and it gives her problems. She has trouble getting up and down things, and we have to put ramps and steps and things like that up. And she's a fast little dog, but you can tell God did not intend dogs to be made that way. Our other dog is a rescue. She's a purebred Chihuahua. Not that we cared. That was left in someone's basement of their townhouse for like a month to 6 weeks, and she's got all kinds of issues. She's just a weird little dog. But we're working on them, and we love her to death, and we can get past these problems. But I can understand someone not wanting to have to take on those problems, especially if they have young kids or a certain situation where they can't have an unreliable dog. So I understand both sides.
Yeah, like, if you want a certain dog, hey, cool for you. I know Tanner's picking up a super expensive poodle because he's the type of guy that drinks tea with the pinky out. But I just personal thing, right? Like, I would never buy from a breeder. Half of it is the part about like health. The other part is like there's a bunch of dogs out there that are going to end up getting put down if somebody doesn't take them. I still am a little bit selfish in that, like, anytime I've rescued a dog, I've always made sure they're a year or younger. So even if there are like behavioral issues, I can fix that before they're super ingrained.
Right, exactly. So you can understand, like, if someone takes on like a 4 or 5 or 6 year old dog, more power to them. I feel I have a lot of respect for that person, but I don't think it's wrong not to want to do that, not to want to pick up someone else's potential problems.
Well, like,
And it's
if I,
different, of course, if you
and it
know
would
the
be
if you
different
know the
if I
animal.
had, like, so say I ended up buying like an acreage or something where I had tons of room for, having a decent pack of dogs. So if you have like a decent pack of dogs, I'm talking at least like 3 or 4 that you've raised and, that you've gotten all of their behavior issues in check. Like, you can introduce something that's a little bit older that may have some issues because dogs generally do a pretty good job of policing themselves in a pack. So then it makes more
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, and we're actually starting to see this a little bit with our dogs. Um, Sadie, our pit bull, a Chihuahua mix, is a very mellow dog. Lulu is a fucking nutcase, and Lulu will often run around and do things like, grab stuff out of Sadie's mouth when Sadie wants to play with someone. Lulu always has to interrupt it and, be a part of it, and yada yada. And Sadie's been pretty mellow about that. The last couple of days, every once in a while, Sadie will fucking go nuts, and I'll start chasing down Lulu and basically beating the fuck out of her. She keeps Lulu's a Chihuahua, weighs about 13, 14 pounds. No, actually, probably about 12 pounds. Sadie, it weighs 16 pounds and is like shorter than her, so she's just like a little fucking ball of muscle. So she'll knock Lulu down and basically hold her down and growl at her until Lulu calms the fuck down. And it's working. Lulu is starting to give Sadie a little more respect every day, rather than just fucking acting like a nutcase and trying to steal from her and things like that. So I'm seeing what you're talking about right as we speak. Hey, Tanner, how you doing, boss?
What's going on, boys?
Boys.
Winning.
Winning.
So what?
Why aren't we talking? I don't have an opinion. Why aren't we talking about gay clubs and butt sex?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, guys. This fucking podcast is flat.
Well, Uncle Canada's not in the chat, so we can't, give him those overtones so that secret love of the cock doesn't, boil over.
Oh, he's fucking done with this fucking show, man. He is not impressed. He is not impressed with cock talk.
Well, come on, it's part of the show. It's I'm sure he'll be back, man. So how'd your day go, Tanner?
It was good, man. I rode mountain bike today, so I got a good ride in. I hit 3 PRs on my mountain bike ride because I'm a geek and have Strava, so it tells me how fast I'm going up certain sections of hills and down other sections of hills and shit. So I did pretty good with that.
Did you share it with the other soccer moms?
Yeah, I did actually in our minivans at the bottom of the hill, at the foot of the hill.
Awesome. I bet they were proud.
We pull up 69 in our caravans, and we just we compare Strava numbers.
Hells yeah.
What's going on, Canada?
There's Grad.
Hey, no, I just wanted to call in late. Are you guys all done with the transgender talking? I'm assuming you guys did earlier or what?
Oh, no, we're just getting started.
Okay. See you guys later.
Have a good one, brother.
Yeah, man. What's up, boys?
How you doing, boss? How'd your day go?
Busy. Fucking just crunching some numbers from work. I just fucking finished 10 minutes ago. So, all good.
They have math in Canada?
We kind of invented math, Dalton.
I think that was the Asians.
I thought that was the Arabic, actually.
You know what else they got in Canada?
What's
Gay
that?
clubs.
No.
Really? You would know, man. I've never been to one, so.
Oh man, you should try. I should take you to one time.
Fuck that.
Don't be scared, homie.
I'm not afraid. I just like the female ass, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, shit. So we were talking about dogs and whether it's better to get a rescue or a breeder, or get from a breeder. And we know you're actually getting a dog soon, there, Tanner. But in general, do you have a preference, or did it just work out that way this time?
Preference as far as either adopting a dog that needs a home,
rescue, or going to a breeder.
See, the thing, I don't know what it is or what it's like where you guys live, but anymore, and my brother's animal control, and he's a shelter manager at SPCA here locally, and anymore you're still spending a couple $100 to rescue someone else's mess. I know I shouldn't talk about animals like that, but most of the time, in my opinion, somebody's dog is there because they fucked them up right from the jump street.
Yep.
And I don't want to have to. I have a hard enough time training myself, let alone training an animal, and then trying to untrain an animal's bad habits because of a shitty owner and then retrain it. I'm not interested in all that.
I can understand that. How about you, Uncle Canada? We haven't actually talked to you much about pets. I don't even know if you have any.
No, I grew up with dogs. To be honest, I can't fuck cats. Dogs are just unbelievable. Again, Tanner hits it like the nail on the head. In regards to you really don't know what you're gonna get at a shelter. What dog's been through, and there's so much more work and effort you got to put in, right? And it's a risk. So you could put the fucking work and effort in, and the dog can still be all fucked up, right? So I go with a breeder. It's gonna cost you money, but at least you know what you're getting, right?
Right. So there's good points for each side of the argument, and really it comes down to your individual situation and the individual dog. And clearly, we're not talking about animals where we know the history. If I knew someone's dog for years and years and they passed away or something happened, and I knew they were a good dog, obviously I would take them if the situation warranted it. But like you guys said, I'm not really interested in picking up an older animal that's going to have issues and trying to hit him into my household. I'd much rather have a fresh slate to try to work with. All right. I guess that's all we got to say about that. Do you guys got anything you want to talk about?
No, I was gonna say it also depends on the breed of the dog too, right? Some dogs that are fucked up. Some dogs, just breeds in general, are hard to. You know what I'm saying? Hard. It depends on the breed, like, a lab versus a pit bull or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that breed comes into importance as well, right? So when you get a dog from that was potentially abused and maybe a harder breed, just in general to kind of, introduce into your home, that's another factor. Well, who's thinking of getting a dog? You, Tanner?
Yeah, we have a, whoa, shit. We have a 10-year-old standard poodle who's just awesome, absolutely awesome dog. And my wife had him before I met her. And I didn't realize, you think of poodle, you think of this frou-frou little freaking dog. This dog is 70 pounds of muscle with a thick neck, and he's athletic as hell. He's smart as hell. So he's still very active at 10 years old. But we wanted to introduce another dog into the household while he was still viable, while he's not, the old dog in the corner just sitting on his bed. He still gets around. He still runs with us and hikes and stuff. So now is about the perfect time to introduce a new dog into the household so that the new dog can kind of learn from Anton, the older dog.
Nice. Oh, what do you guys want to talk about? Fuck. What else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna let you know the name of the new puppy is going to be, you guys watch Strongman. You remember Magnus Magnuson? You guys remember that guy?
He was one of the original Icelandic guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the name of this dog is Magnus Poodleson, for real.
There you go. Yeah, nice manly name for a nice manly dog. Shit. So yeah, that's about all I got, guys. If you guys got another topic, we got another 5 or 10 minutes, or we can call it done. It's up to you guys.
We're not ending this shit early. That's not a thing, Jay. Beyond that, it looks like they finally put out the fights for next weekend.
Oh, did they? Because that was looking pretty. Is this UFC 250?
No. This is a fight night next weekend, and then the week after that is 250. I think that one's still kind of a skeleton card.
Yeah, because apparently at one point they only had like 3 or 4 things listed. Okay, this is this Saturday. Well, it looks like it is formed up pretty good, huh?
Yeah, how about you read through
them up and let's talk about it.
Yeah, how about you read through those names, Jay?
Oh God, why don't make me do this, dude? Why don't you go ahead and read through the names, dude?
All right, we can start with the main event. I think we already know kind of what that is, but that was Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns.
If Woodley is anything like he has, like his peak, it shouldn't even be a hard fight for him, really.
Yeah, Burns isn't an easy fight.
I got Woodley.
When's the last time Woodley fought?
Oh God, and
he lost.
It was
March of 2019. So it's been more than a year. Holy shit.
Yeah, fuck.
That's a long layoff, man. He actually, he doesn't fucking fight that often. His last 4 fights are March of 2017, July of 2017, September of 2018, and then March of 2019. So, God,
well, he had an injury in there somewhere, didn't he?
Well, yeah.
He had shoulder surgery, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Burns' last fights are all 4 wins.
I got Woodley by Homelander style racism.
Okay, fair enough.
He's just going to come out and say "boy" over and over again.
Boy.
Now, the quality of the card drops really quick after that, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it looks like the co-main event is Blagov Ivanov versus Augusto Sakai.
And I've never heard of either of those fuckers.
Christ. We're not even going to be able to make picks. I don't know who the fuck those guys are.
Yeah. Pass.
I think Ivanov should win. So he was a pretty big. Wasn't he the guy that was a pretty big deal in Bellator and like basically just sat on the sidelines for a while trying to get out because they really didn't have a heavyweight division for a while.
Oh, well, it's funny that I've never really heard of him because all of them are fought people I've heard of. Ivanov lost to Lewis, then he won to some guy that I don't know, but then he won versus Rothwell, and then his loss before that was versus Dos Santos. And the other guy, his win versus some guy named Tybura, a win versus Orlovsky, a win versus Chase Sherman, and a loss versus Chet Congo. So I'm actually surprised I've never heard of these guys because they've been fighting people that I know.
Yeah, I think he is the Bellator guy then. But yeah, with this, we don't have to make picks tonight. Obviously, we'll do that next week. But yeah, so that looks like that's the co-main. Next fight, Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. I don't know either guy.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Jay is your wife talking dirty in the background? What's going on over there?
A little bit, actually.
Oh, a little dirty birdie, Mrs. Passive Jay.
She's trying to fuck with you while I'm doing my show. But the card deteriorates. There's a couple women's fight.
There's a couple names on here. Like Mackenzie Dern is fighting. We'll see if she can make weight.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fatty.
Yeah.
Other women's fight is Caitlin Chukagian versus Antonina Shevchenko. So Valentina's sister.
Yeah. Who famously lost to my friend Roxanne, although she's pulled off a win since then. So it's that one. They're hard to tell with those fights. I keep on looking down.
Tim Elliott's fighting. Not a huge name, but obviously he had that pretty good showing against Demetrius years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Louis Smoka is fighting, and that's about it.
Yeah, that card's garbage.
Looks like they kind of blew their load with 249.
Yeah. Now, once again, it doesn't mean it's not going to be a great show. There's all kinds of times where the people that you've never heard of put on great fights, and it's almost the norm at this point. But still, I have no great excitement for this card.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, hopefully, it is one of those just extremely exciting cards, and then you actually learn who some of these people are because they actually surprise you. If not, it could be a long 6.5 hours.
Ooh, yeah. Are we committing to this, or is that what we're talking about now?
We said we were doing all the Saturday shows, right?
Yeah, I guess we did. So, or at least until I'm back to work. And since no one from my work called me today, I have a feeling I'm not going back to work on Wednesday like I was hoping. I'm going to have to send a message to one of my bosses just to make sure, but that's not a good sign. You would think they would have called me.
The real main event of the weekend is actually coming on Sunday. Remember, next Sunday is Superhuman Live.
Oh shit, that's right. We're gonna live cast that. Doesn't it end up happening during our show anyways, or some shit like that?
I don't know. It's either right. It's right around the same time. It's certainly not going to be 6 hours of him jumping through things.
Oh goddamn!
What is Superhuman Live?
Oh my god! Holy shit! Go ahead and tell Ryan.
Oh, is this the dude? Is this the dude that jumps off things and goes "fuck this shit" or whatever?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
so he's doing. Yeah, he's doing a live stream where he's going to do some of his live stunts, which will involve him jumping off something high through something absolutely ridiculous and then moaning like he's dying, which is incredibly entertaining.
Something.
I'm
surprised he hasn't already, to be honest with you.
If we could see like a Cory Hill, except the way he does it's generally like an elbow drops, like a Cory Hill arm break.
I don't want that. But apparently he's going to have all kinds of other entertainment and other like maybe music or something.
I got a quick story.
Okay, go ahead. We'll finish off with an awesome story from Tanner.
All right, regarding a Cory Hill arm break. So I get called. I get called for a shoplifter, right? And I go down, and it's me and my buddy. We're riding Class A. I go down. So we're driving, and I see it comes over the radio that the proprietor of the store is chasing this guy down the road. So we see him. Hold on, let me move. These kids are gonna be in the background. Hold up. Let me move inside.
Yeah.
So we go down to the village, and sure shit, we see the store owner, and he's waving us down and screaming, he stole. And we're like, okay. So we spin around and we approach the guy, and we're like, hey, he's walking away from us. He's all dressed in camouflage. I think he had a hood up, just kind of shady. He walks away from us. We tell him to stop. He doesn't stop. Finally, you raise your voice a little bit. You dispense with the pleasantries. Sir, can you come talk to me, please? Pretty soon it's like, hey, fucking stop. So he stopped. He's like, what? And we go, dude, just come here for a minute. We need to talk to you. It was reported that you stole something from the grocery store. He's like, I didn't fucking steal anything. Yeah, I got everything. I got receipts. I got everything. So we're like, cool, just come over here. He's like, you know what? Fuck this. And he had a backpack. So we're within arm's distance of him at this time. He goes, you know what? Fuck this. And he reaches real quick into his backpack. Well, we can't have that. I don't know if he's reaching for a gun. He's reaching for a knife. I don't know what the fuck he's reaching for. So we grab him up and kind of two-person escort him because we don't know what he's grabbing for. So he starts to resist, and he pins his arm on one side between himself. We get him to the car, and he pins his left arm in between himself and the cruiser. So I reach in, I reach in to pull that arm out, right? Like, say we're going to bar arm somebody. So I reach in to pull that arm out in between himself and the cruiser. And next thing you know, holy shit, man, his humerus fucking completely spiral fracture snaps. So as I'm pulling it out, it obviously has tension on it because I'm pulling it out from underneath him. And when it snaps so hard that he basically punched himself in the back of the head with his own arm. It went snap, and dude. So I'm holding him, and this guy didn't even realize it. He didn't see. He had predisposed health condition or something. Because honestly, guys, I would tell you if I was being an asshole and being rough with this guy. I was not. I didn't bend it. It wasn't even barely behind his back before it snapped. I was not being abusive whatsoever. So the guy sits there, and I'm holding his arm, and I like up by the bicep, and I
What's up, guys?
I can. Oh.
Okay, go ahead and let Ken finish the story, sir. Go ahead.
Hello?
Finish the story.
All right, so I can't talk with that background.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. You'll have to call back when you have headphones on. Sorry about that. Tanner, go ahead.
Yeah, the echo's pretty bad. Sorry, dude. I wasn't being a dick. I can't. I got weird thing with background noise. Okay, so I'm holding him by the bicep, and I can feel the bones, the sharp shards of the bones broken, grating against one another in his arm, and it was the guy didn't even know. He was mental. He didn't even know his arm was broke. I mean, he didn't even realize it until I called immediately for an ambulance. And that was the worst thing ever. That sucks so bad. I got sued for $1 million. The chief got sued for $1 million. Everybody who was there got sued for $1 million. I think it got settled out of court for like $60,000. But you want to know the kicker? The kicker was the manager of the store who was chasing him, who said he stole. He didn't even see him steal. Someone reported it to him. He didn't even have eyes on. He witnessed nothing. And it turns out the fucking guy didn't steal anything. He had a receipt for all goods purchased.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, dude. I was acting in good faith. I had reasonable cause to believe a crime was committed, and the guy standing in front of me committed that crime. You know what I mean? The fact that he reached into his bag and then started resisting, that sucks, but the guy never stole anything.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is shitty. So the worst part is, check out how much of a cool asshole my boss is. He was at an Army Navy game when this all went down the whole weekend. And usually when something goes on, he's good for a call. He'll call you, hey man, tell me what went on. You all right? Is everything good? Nothing. I get no call. 3 days. 3 days. I hear nothing from this guy. I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm gonna be disciplined, possibly fucking put out on leave or fired. I don't know what's gonna happen, right? So I come into work. I was working 3 to 11 at the time, and it was like the Monday after this happened. I think this happened on a Friday, and he was out of town all weekend, and he was out of town when it happened. I come in Friday, and after not hearing from him, I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucked. So I come in, I see him in the hallway right outside of his office. He goes, hey, what's up, man? And he holds out his hand for me to shake his hand. I went to shake his hand. He goes, oh fuck, you broke it. And he like started limp. I was like, oh, you fucking asshole. So he got me.
Poor guy. Well, that's a great story, man. I mean, it's a horrible story, but it's a great story as well. Will,
yeah,
I'm going to call it a show. If nothing else, I need to run to the restroom. So unless you guys want to talk amongst yourselves for 10 or 15 minutes till I get back, now's probably a good time to call it a show.
All right, yeah.
All right.
If you guys want to talk among yourself and have topics for 10 or 15 minutes, I have no problem at all leaving you guys alone.
Oh, shoot this shit, boys.
I'm not sure if you guys want to do that or not.
It's a pretty shitty thing to do, Jay.
All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do. Correct.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, I'm going to mute it. Hopefully, I won't take more than 5 or 10 minutes. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Wash your hands when you're done.
If you were any kind of man, you'd take that microphone into the fucking bathroom with you like I do.
That's it.
I know. Goddamn. What you got, boys?
Stream. You guys know that.
You do have a solid stream there. We've heard it many a times.
Yep. Turns grad on. That's what I heard.
Well, it's all that workout your prostate gets.
I'm just busting balls, grad.
I know, brother. I know.
You know I love you.
I love you too, man. So plans for the weekend, boys. What the fuck's up?
Didn't we just talk about this like yesterday?
We did,
yeah.
Today's Friday, right? So it's fucking one day close. Reality's almost kicking in. Yeah, fuck. So the long weekend. I guess. Did anybody go on the beach and all that shit? Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. I know certain areas of the States, the weather's going to be unbelievable, right? So,
yeah, it was damn nice today. Like, I'll probably at least take the dogs out tomorrow to a small chunk of beach and just let them run wild.
Yeah, it was probably the best 3-day stretch that we've had in a long time in upstate. Wednesday, Thursday, and today has been absolutely gorgeous. It's going to rain here in a minute, I'm pretty sure, but I don't care. The day's over with. I got my bike ride in, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Well, we're starting to get close to the temperature that rain isn't that big of a deal anyway. If you have temperatures in like the mid 80s, like I think that's the only time you'll hear my fat ass be like, "Hey, I might go for a run."
Oh, Jesus, a run, huh?
Yeah, like maybe 2 or 3 yards.
See, I love bike season. I'm in full on bike mode. I've built bikes for people. This year already. I built my own bike. This year. I usually do 1 or 2 bike projects a year, and now I'm riding bike. But the only thing that's kind of sucks about it, I'm getting good cardio, but I tend to use that as an excuse that that's my workout, and I'm lifting. I'm down to lifting like 2 days a week now, but I'm biking like 4 days a week. So I'm kind of missing out on the gym time that I should be getting, but it's like I make the excuse that the ride is my workout.
So you're going to get like the reverse leg day skipper going on, where you're going to have gigantic legs and your upper body's just going to shrivel away?
I highly doubt my upper body will shrivel away to nothing, but yeah, I'm definitely getting in more leg work than I am upper body for sure. What are you doing, Grad? Are you working out right now?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I used to work out 3-4 days a week, but because of this, so the job I do, I got to crunch a lot of numbers and all that bullshit, and so I work in the automotive industry, and they just started launching plants throughout North America. So feeling like shit. So I work out about 2 times a week, heavy, weight wise and stuff. But yeah, I really, I got to get back into the cardio just to get my fucking head cleared. Just go for a little jog, or even I was gonna say about the bike thing because I'm a taller dude. So it's obviously not as bad on the joints and the knees and stuff. So I'm looking at buying maybe a nice bike. I don't know yet.
What type of biking you want to do? You want to do more road stuff or full on in the woods, doing crazy mountain bike stuff?
No, like a crossbreed between a speed bike and a mountain bike. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I know there's expensive bikes out there. Something where I can just do either or, right? So
He just wants a 10-speed Huffy.
People used to, back in the day, people used to take 10 speeds and flip the handlebars upside down, and that's what the first mountain bikes were, man.
Yeah, I know nothing about bikes. God, it's probably been like 15 years since I was on like an actual bike.
Oh, I fucking love it, man. It still does. Still,
I was gonna say it's a lot. It's a lot better for you though, Ryan. Instead of running though, right on the joints. I'm pretty sure, especially as you get older, right? The impact of running.
Well, like obviously for cardio, I have an assault bike that'll do that, but that's not like riding an actual bike. That's sitting there in place, questioning my decisions in life.
Okay.
Yeah, it still doesn't replace grappling. It still doesn't replace being on a mat. I mean, I went over my love affair with jiu-jitsu as well as with men grad. But anyways, I went over my love affair with jiu-jitsu in nothing I've tried to replace with all sorts of different stuff. I mean, bikes come kind of close, but it's just, you can't replace the cardio and the feeling you get after grappling and dominating on a mat. It's just, you can't, there's nothing that replaces it for me.
Besides buckle shorts.
As well.
Yeah.
No, with the gi as well, right? You're gonna tend to. I'm assuming you train gi or no gi.
Both. I was primarily I was no gi for 4 years before I even put a gi on. And quite frankly, I'm actually better no gi than I am in a gi. Grips are a motherfucker, man. You get somebody that's got good, solid grips, and you can't. It's hard to launch offense on people like that because you're constantly breaking grips. You're on the defense right from the jump, and I'm just constantly breaking grips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always the same way. I was a big no-gi guy. Just 'cause, I think probably because I've been wrestling since I turned like 4 years old. Like it's closer to wrestling being out there with no gi. Yeah, like the very first time I put the gi on, I got choked like 30 times in 10 minutes.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, I love the gi. It's harder. It's harder, and it's easier. It's easier when you're going no gi to use strength, athleticism, and explosion. And I was more athletic and explosive than I was technical. Always, I've never been a real technical jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, it's the same way. What about you, Grad? Gi or no gi?
Thing is, I get my background is judo, so that's basically what I know, right? But yeah, man, at the transition, I've never done no gi. I've done gi, obviously, with judo, but yeah, I can. There's arguments to both sides, right? But gi is all
I always liken the difference between no gi and gi jiu-jitsu to like what judo is to Greco-Roman. You're kind of using those overhooks and underhooks for your leverage points rather than grabbing lapels and sleeves and stuff.
Right.
So is wrestling really even a thing up where you're at, Grad?
Actually, so the school that my son went to, high school, his teacher was the assistant captain for Team Canada for the Olympic team. So, what's his last name? Anyways, my son wrestled under him for 2 years. So it is, yeah. Again, it's not as big as you guys.
So he was about the level of like a walk-on junior college wrestler in America then?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
I'm just busting balls, man.
I don't even know. I thought that was a compliment. I don't know. Yeah. But obviously you guys are more well known for wrestling, obviously with the Midwest and all that stuff, Iowa and all over. So
Yeah, wrestling's, especially where Ryan's from. Wrestling's real big. You're from Iowa, right?
Yep, we start out actually before kindergarten. So generally, you're starting as like a 4 to 5 year old.
Yeah, that's madness. I don't know if I've ever told it on here, but obviously, if I'm sure you know who this guy is, Dalton. But if there's any other wrestlers or fan of USA Wrestling, my my one of my coaches in high school and he was also my workout partner because I was a heavyweight, was Kyle Dake's father, Doug Dake. And Kyle, when he was a toddler, that kid was crawling all over us on the mats. And he's arguably, I think there's only 3 people in the discussion. Kyle Dake is arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, collegiate wrestler of all time. I mean, you can put Cal ahead of him, or you can put I guess you could put Gable ahead of him. But other than that, it's those 3 for me, and it's a pick 'em as far as I'm concerned. But that kid was crawling on the mats with us when I was, a senior or junior or senior in high school, and now he's a world champion. And who knows what's going to happen with the Olympics? If the Olympics get canceled, or this is his window of opportunity right now, and hopefully he didn't already peak because he was working towards that goal.
Well, that's the only problem for Dake is yes, he's an absolute monster, world champion. The difficulty when you get to the Olympics is they shrink down the weight classes. So he's been stuck behind Burroughs. So having to beat Burroughs, that's no small task.
No, now might be the time though. Burroughs is getting older, and Dake's a lot bigger. I mean, Dake thought he was gonna get to the Olympics by this last time around when he went up and then ran into freaking Jaden Cox.
Yeah, everyone hates it when you run into a cock.
Except Grad. No, but Jaden Cox, the guy sweats freaking gravy. Have you ever seen a mat after he's wrestled? It's unreal. That guy sweats grease.
It's amazing how much he improved outside of college. Like, he always seemed like an underachiever at Missouri. Like, he still did well. He still had a national championship, but no one saw him coming out and just dominating the world like he is. That kid's just a freak athlete.
Yeah, he is. And what did he take? He took bronze, right?
I think
in the Olympics last time around.
I have to look. I don't remember what he took.
Yeah. And then is Snyder done, or is he still gonna get hitting it hard?
Oh no, he's absolutely still there.
Interesting.
He's a freaking monster.
So what are we talking about?
The only one that really
in a couple minutes.
Amateur wrestling, Jay. But yeah, the only guy that really kind of matches up with Snyder is Sadalev, and he's just an absolute monster.
Yeah, he crushed him last time they wrestled, though, didn't
he? Yeah, that one.
He stuck him, right?
That wasn't the best showing for Snyder.
No.
And yeah, it was a bronze in 2016.
Yep, that's what I thought. I think it's funny that
PJ's trying to. No, I was gonna say PJ's trying to end the show. Fuck, go take a shit again if you gotta take a shit. What the fuck's wrong?
I don't know. It's I was fine. And now they're all said in the last 20 minutes or so. It's like everything needs to leave. I thought I was done, and as soon as I sit back down again, it's like you're not done at all. No, I'm good. Go ahead and keep on talking.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting in the 2016 Olympics is what's it? The kid from Penn State, Molinaro. He actually ended up going to the Olympics, and obviously it was a different weight class. But Dake used to own that dude at what was it, 45 or something? Or what is a weight class? I don't even know the international or the college weight classes anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember where. That might be.
But yeah, it's funny that I think Dake beat him. The only time I don't know if Molinaro actually won a national championship. I know Dake beat him in the finals, crushed him in the finals one year, and it turns out Molinaro is the one that actually went to the Olympics. So, he's got that up for him.
Yeah, he won. I think he won one. I think he won in 2012, maybe. And it was at
Okay.
it was at 149. I just looked it up. There you go.
All right. He was a beast, dude. Molinaro was he was like a little Sean Shirk type character.
Yeah, I was surprised that he ended up making that Olympic team. Like, he wasn't necessarily favored to take that weight class. But speaking about guys, we had talked before about like just feeling absolutely helpless with a high level athlete. So in high school, our coach was a good friend with the Iowa State coach, and that was when Cale Sanderson was in his run. So he brought Cale Sanderson into a practice, and I've never felt so helpless, just getting thrown around like a goddamn child. And I was weighing.
Oh, I bet.
I was weighing about 230. I was cutting to 215, and he was wrestling 191, and that guy felt like he was twice as strong as me.
Well, I've never met the guy, but I know people who have met him, and they said his hands are just unreal. Like they're freaking huge and they're stupid strong, and it's just like he's not even like a normal human being.
Yeah, he's stupid strong and ridiculously fast. Like, he is on a single and he can keep attacking it like no one I've ever seen.
Yeah, did he ankle pick you at all?
He did everything he wanted to me.
Nice. I'm sure the chat's sick of our amateur wrestling hour here.
Yeah, like I think we're two of the 3,500 fans in the world.
Yeah, if that. So what's up, Jay? What's up, Grad?
Jay went to go take a shit again. I think he left his mic next to his speaker. You can hear a slight echo.
Oh shit!
The fuck, Jay.
So where are you at, Grad? Are you done with Muay Thai? I know you said your body's broke up from judo, and I get that because judo's a motherfucker. Are you done with Muay Thai as well?
No, I've never trained with that. PJ wanted to train Muay Thai. I've never trained Muay Thai. I trained a little bit of karate.
Oh, I thought you trained Muay Thai as well. My bad.
No. I wish. No. I kind of wish, like, in retrospect, I kind of wish I did that based on my reach and that. But no, I was karate about a year. Nothing really. Major. Yeah. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I did a little bit of Muay Thai, but I'm not built for Muay Thai. And plus, we went over one class. All we did was stuff from the plum. And that fucked my neck up so bad. It was an hour of this gorilla hanging from my fucking head. And my neck was fucked for like a month after that.
Yeah, I'm good on Muay Thai training. But the real question is, like, how should you really practice Muay Thai? Is it the Dutch way or the Thai way? Grad, thoughts?
Oh shit! And Stray was like, "I think he's fucking with you, Grad." I'm like, "How am I fucking with him? I'm asking us a question." Oh, do you remember that, Grad?
No.
It was during the first fight companion, and I had asked you a question because we were talking about Muay Thai, and I asked you a question against Muay Thai or Dutch style and Thai style.
Yeah.
We all were, man, not just you. It's all good, brother. Oh man. So yeah, I think I'm done. Should we just hang up and leave the podcast running, or what are we doing?
Yeah, where the fuck is Jay?
Where do you think?
He's pooping.
He said he was done.
I think he got mad.
Round 2. No, he's taking a shit. He doesn't get mad.
No, I think he got mad because he came back and he's surprised that we were still here, and then he was going to end the show, and we didn't want to end the show, so I think he just left.
Well, son of a bitch, this is going to be a long one.
There's PJ.
Yeah, fuck it.
Is PJ back or what? No, I thought I heard him.
No, the poopening. Oh shit! All right, guys.
All right.
Well, before we go,
God
damn it, Tenor, and I said this in the thread. Why didn't you tell me the newest season of Bosch had Sovereign Citizens?
Oh, I didn't know you were into Sovereign Citizens, man.
They're fucking hilarious.
How many episodes are you in?
So today, in amongst a bunch of conference calls, I binged like 6 episodes. So I'll be done with the season by like halfway through tomorrow.
Yep. fucking Bosch is amazing. Like I said, I know, when I said on the one on the thread about The Wire, I know The Wire is amazing. It's supposed to be amazing. It's just not hooking me yet. And you said you got to get through the first season, right?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So, like, after the first season, you're going to be completely hooked. Then you're going to go into the second season. You'll be like, what the fuck happened to the show? But then if you watch 3 and 4, you're like, oh, the second season was actually really good. I just didn't understand it yet.
Okay.
It's one of those weird shows like that.
We just got my wife and I were watching it last week after we finished Bosch, and we just got introduced to Omar. Only the second episode of him being in it. So we just got introduced to that cat. I guess he's gay and likes to rob people.
Omar is one of the greatest characters in TV history.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that about him. But yeah, and every time we were like, what do you want to watch? You want to watch Wire? I'm like, no, it's almost like work. So we got into Jack Ryan, which is actually really, really good. I'm into that pretty hardcore right now.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten to that one.
Yeah, so my girlfriend mentioned to me about Jack Ryan. I never watched it yet. She mentioned that one as well as what's his name? Billy Ray Thornton. I guess he's got something as well. Billy Ray something or other.
Billy Ray Cyrus?
No, the guy
Billy
that
Bob
was
Thornton?
Yes.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, what show has he got? Has he got like a Netflix show as well or something?
Oh, there's a show where he's like a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
God, what's it called? But it was pretty good. I've seen it, Grad. It's worth watching.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
She told me, you got to watch Jack Ryan and that one as well with the lawyer thing.
Yeah,
so.
Jack Ryan. I just started the second season. I think there's only 2 seasons out. The first season is fucking great.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely should watch that one. And if you haven't watched Bosch, there's 6 seasons of that, and it's freaking awesome.
So, Tanner, what are your thoughts on The Shield?
Never saw it.
What?
I never saw it.
I think that's probably another one. I didn't watch it until, God, probably 2 or 3 months ago, and I finally got into it. And that's probably the best cop show I've ever seen. And apparently, it rings true in a lot of ways.
And that's that Michael Chiklis cat, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never even seen it. I don't have TV. I mean, we have TVs in the house, but obviously I got Netflix and Hulu. But for years, I never watched shows ever. I'd watch movies here and there, but I just recently got into watching shows. I've got every season of Game of Thrones, and I was into it hardcore for like the first 2 seasons, and then I stopped. And I never got back into it. And I have all the seasons sitting down in the basement right now. So I should probably get back into that at some point. But the problem is I've already watched the first two seasons. So I don't want to start where I left off because it's been many years. But it's almost like work having to go back and watch those first 2 seasons to catch me back up because I've already seen them. But I would need to jog the memory a little bit, Yeah,
I would say give The Shield a chance. That's actually the only reason I bought Hulu because it was on there.
Okay.
But it's kind of interesting. 'Cause, like, a lot of the people on The Wire end up being on The Shield, and some of the people from The Shield end up being on Bosch.
Yeah, I know the guy that ends up being chief, the big tall black guy. He's on The Wire.
Right. Yep.
I forget what his name is, but really
he's black.
Like minute bowl black. Like he's almost so black he's blue, like navy blue.
Yeah, he's like Charlie Murphy, darkness.
Oh man, I miss Charlie Murphy so much. He had so many great bits on the Chappelle Show. All the different things he talked about, different celebrities that he met. I don't know if you guys ever looked it up. In addition to the stuff on Chappelle Show, Charlie Murphy wrote a whole bunch of articles and letters about different celebrities. Like he's got a whole bunch of ones on Prince. Look up Charlie Murphy Prince stories. There's way more than just the one that they had on the Chappelle Show. They're pretty funny.
When Prince beat him in basketball and then gave him pancakes?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he has one like I read about running into Prince at the bus stop. Prince wasn't going anywhere; he was just hanging out at the bus stop. And then a story about like how he'd ask him for $10 for taxi fare, and Charlie Murphy didn't even want to get into reason why Prince is walking around with no money. And yeah, it's just some really funny stories. And he's got a couple few of them.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, boys.
All right, I think I gotta get going, boys.
Yeah, I think we've run
All right,
this one
guys.
into the ground.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to abandon you. It was necessary, though.
I guess we'll talk tomorrow.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank Tanner and Grad for calling in, as always. I want to thank the random guy that tried to call in but didn't have headphones. So try again sometime other, buddy. We'll be back at 6 o'clock to do this all over again. Ryan, you got anything?
Yeah, 2 quick things. Number 1, everybody keep Jay's colon in your thoughts and prayers. Apparently he's having some issues. Number 2, fuck all y'all.
I want to thank the OG Army for showing up. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 6. You guys have a great night.
Screw you, hippie!